Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our Block for Golf webinar this evening. I am so thrilled to be here, and I am so thrilled that Barry and Tammy Gibson have connected with me, and we've created this program for you that is not only going to help your golf game, but it's also going to help your health. So I'm here, Quinn, my nephew, is beside me. He's going to show you at the very end of this webinar how to use your control panel in case you have any questions that you may ask. And again, I just want to share that, meeting Tammy and Barry, I for a long time have wanted to create a golf program because it just made the most sense as far as any other sport goes to get this into golf because of the restrictions that are contained in your rib cage and how that affects everything. So when I met Tammy and Barry and we connected, it was just the perfect way to go forward. So thank you guys so much for wanting to be partners with me on this program, and welcome.
Well, thanks, Deanna, and thanks for getting rid of all my pain. That's how I met Deanna about 18 months ago. I wasn't walking too good or too straight when I first met her that day, and I've suffered for years, as many of you know, with daily back pain, hip issues, and all kinds of things. And the block has been amazing for me. I'm certainly not perfect by any means, but you know what? It's made daily living way easier for me. I can swing the club easier, and I just feel better overall.
Yes, thanks, Deanna, and Tammy here. And yeah, I've been golfing a long time, over 25 years, many of them competitively, and I had my own issues with golf, with my hip and my shoulder specifically, and that's what brought me to the block. And man, I'm telling you, it's done wonders for me. I don't have that pain anymore. And I'm just having such a good time with this block that I'm actually now an instructor in training. So I'm just loving it, and very pleased to be partnering with you on this journey.
Thanks, guys. So we're going to go through a little bit of education just quickly about what block therapy is about, and then we're going to talk with Tammy and Barry about how this improves your golf game, and then we'll go through the program and what it entails. So first of all, for any of you that don't know, block therapy is unique in that it's an exercise therapy and meditation all built into one very simple to do practice. And you can see here by this picture, I'm literally lying over this piece of wood called the Block Buddy. The Block Buddy is an amazing tool because what it does when we're using it properly is it gets into the tissue and it melts through the adhesions and restrictions that block blood and oxygen flow to cells. So when we release those, the tissue reawakens and everything changes. So this is a full body practice, and it truly is simple to do, highly effective, and very inexpensive because you ultimately have this self-care program lifelong. So this started for me when I was about 30 years old. Before that, I was already certified as an athletic therapist for 5 years and focused on deep tissue work, but my own personal life and body I was struggling with. I was 50 pounds overweight, struggling with anxiety, depression, addiction, and I was working really hard to make changes, running, Tai Bo, aerobics, 400 sit-ups a day, and I was continually getting bigger, accumulating more pain, and my anxiety was increasing. So it was amidst an anxiety attack when everything changed for me. For some reason, when I thought I was actually going to die because I was paralyzed with my breath, I didn't know if I could breathe, I dove my hand into my abdomen. And that moment was the beginning of this whole entire process for me, because what happened was in that moment, when I was having this anxiety, I found pain. But the pain took me out of my crazy thinking and it brought me back to the ground. And I realized, no, I'm breathing, I'm alive, I'm not going to die right now, everything's okay. But I also recognized that my abdomen was marbled with scar tissue. So having already been a deep tissue worker for about 5 years at that point, I was very aware of what that felt like on people's backs and necks and legs, typically where we worked as therapists. But I had never touched my own belly because partly I hated it so much. That was where I stored so much of my weight. So when I realized that there was this marbled tissue, it struck me that no matter when I'm coming home from a 5-mile run, dripping wet with sweat, my belly was still cold. No wonder I couldn't make any changes there because no blood flow could actually get there. So that was the beginning about 16 years ago of this whole process for me. And what I really learned was that it all comes down to how we breathe. When we're breathing properly, we feed the body up to 600% more oxygen than when we're breathing through the muscles of the upper chest. But the reality is is none of us are breathing properly because we fall out of balance and out of alignment in our connective tissue called fascia. So right here in this picture, you can see where the diaphragm muscle lives. And in the picture before, you saw that muscle moving up and down in the body, but unfortunately, people simply aren't breathing that way. So it's caused our tissue to collapse over time, and it's really what creates pain, aging, and disease. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a while, but let's just talk about some common issues that affect your golf game regarding the body and how we're breathing and the fascia and how this all ties together with block therapy. So you can see there's lots of issues, first of all, that are going to affect your golf game, but here's 5. So we'll go through each one of them specifically. Chronic pain. Barry, why don't you share with us, your experience with chronic pain?
Well, it's just repetitive injury, especially from golfers, with the rotational aspect of swinging the golf club. But, it starts with being in bad posture. When your body's out of a line every day, it's going to show up in your golf game. And, that's how I got injured. And the chronic pain, it's continual. It's every day. You wake up with it. And it's just from, doing something you love. You want to get out and play golf, but every time you play golf, you're in pain. So you create this cycle of, I don't want to play golf because I'm in pain the next day. And for me, it used to feel like I was in a rugby match every time I played, or a football game. I'd play golf, and the next day I couldn't move. I'd be trying to lay on an ice bag, which I've learned now isn't the greatest thing, and pop in all kinds of Advil and things, and nothing really gave me relief from the chronic pain like what the block therapy does. So it's been amazing for me in terms of breaking that cycle of daily pain.
Oh, that's wonderful. And one of the things that we teach in block therapy is that there's cause sites and pain sites. So it's not just about going to where the pain is, it's understanding where the cause of that pain is. And again, we get a little bit further into that in a little bit here. So the next issue is weight. What I've learned over time, because again, I was 50 pounds overweight, is that when we're trying to lose weight, it's not just about calories in versus energy expenditure. It's really about cellular alignment and keeping our cells clean through proper elimination, which we can't do when the rib cage collapses into the core and creates all of the blocks. And I'm sure, Barry, if somebody, has a bigger belly, that's going to definitely affect your golf swing.
Well, for sure. It affects your posture, and it affects your ability to set up and move your body. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and Deanna, maybe I'll just add something here about my experience just on the size and shape piece. When I started the block, again, it was in shoulder issues, and the more I got into it, I wasn't specifically, well, everybody, and not everybody, but a lot of women have that. I have like to lose that last 10 pounds, which I had as well, but I could never ever lose it. But I got on the block, working on the core and working on those pain sites and the cause sites, and the pounds just started melting away. I didn't change my diet, but my appetite changed, my digestion's working better, and my elimination is working way better, and I lost 8 pounds virtually just doing the block. I mean, I could not believe it. It was amazing.
Not like you needed to at all. And I remember, Tammy, when you came into my apartment one day and you were like a couple months through the process, and I couldn't believe how different your skin looked. You were just radiating, and it was like, wow, like everything is changing on you. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next one, restricted range of motion. What happens to the rib cage in the body when we develop restrictions or adhesions over time is it basically seals our body. So if we don't have a rib cage that is flexible and that can rotate, I'm like, this is definitely going to affect not only your health, but also your game.
Yeah, there's no question. You can't turn and swing freely. You can't load the golf club going back properly, and then you can't swing through the ball properly. And then you're finding out, oh, geez, I got to swing through the ball. I got to follow through, and I'm losing power, and I'm losing control over direction. And a big part of it is because you can't load the club going back, and then you can't swing through the ball properly.
And then I'm sure all the compensation that you end up doing ends up causing you more pain and more injury in future.
Yeah, it sure does. You start this cycle of trying to protect because you're trying to avoid pain, and then you start changing your motion, and then you start getting these bad habits, and then you start getting these compensations, and the next thing you know, you're creating more pain from more injuries.
Exactly. Okay, so then the next one, nervousness and anxiety. I love this picture. It's great. Personally, for me, What I've learned is that when we are scared, we literally stop breathing. And the first time I ever spoke publicly, that happened to me. I was speaking, and within honestly 30 seconds, like suddenly I was silent because I had no breath left. And this was the very, very first time. Unfortunately, I had somebody standing beside me that, kind of took over until I got my breath and I got back. But that was a moment when I really recognized that, wow, like the breath is absolutely everything. So if we can gain control of that muscle and how to breathe properly, it can really override these negative feelings.
Oh yeah, it's a big part of performance too. Learning to breathe, it allows you to relax and it allows you to perform. It's really amazing.
Deanna, maybe I'll just add something here as well. As a competitive golfer, I've always known that breathing is important when you're golfing to, help keep you calm when you're under pressure playing golf. And I know that, and many golfers know that, but I think sometimes we actually forget to do that. And I found with the block, since I've been doing the block, that I'm much more conscious of my breathing now. And when I'm on the course under those pressure situations, I find that it's much easier for me to remember to do that conscious breathing. Whereas in the past, although I knew that I should be doing it, in the moment, I wasn't doing it. So I think the block's been great for that.
Awesome. Thanks, Tammy. And then lastly, emotional outbursts and lack of confidence. Personally not a golfer, but I do know that when my dad golfed, he would come home sometimes and he'd wreck his clubs because he'd be throwing them into the trees.
Oh yeah, that's how silly it is too. As golfers, we've all gone through this where you're standing over a 2-foot putt and you're petrified of trying to make this putt. It's a 2-foot putt. Like what's causing that? All that anxiety. And as a result, you miss the putt.
Well, I have to say I'm glad I don't golf because like just looking at these pictures, I'm getting stressed.
Oh, yeah. It's real. It's real. I see it every day.
I'm sure you do. Okay. So basically, the challenge that we're encountering with our body is there's injury, surgery, and unconscious posture, all of which create compression in our tissue, which ultimately become the blocks to blood and oxygen flow. And really, we have to understand that our body is like a building. We have certain foundations in our body that if we don't adhere to, we end up collapsing. And you can see in the pictures on the left, you can see how the belly is extended because of that collapse of the rib cage into the core. So right there, we're seeing that where the foundation being the diaphragm, it's not strong. So it's created this collapse, causing a displacement of tissue outward, which is also going to hinder our ability to digest and eliminate properly. And then we're also dominant on one side. We're either right or left-handed. So we don't stay centered on both feet. We tend to shift our weight to one foot, which causes compression and then causes issues as well. So, here's an example. Look at how fat my belly looks here because I'm literally just falling into my core space. And that's the thing about weight loss. We think that weight loss is about fat, but it's not. It's about displaced fascia. All of that space in my core has been taken away from the collapse of my rib cage, causing the belly to extend outward. So, Barry, why don't you explain these pictures here?
Well, the guy on the left is pretty typical of golfer that, has some problems with their shoulders, their upper back, lower back, ribs. You're going to hunch over the golf ball, and your shoulders droop forward, your head droops forward. Your spine's just not in a very good position, so you can't rotate through the ball very well. You can't swing very freely at all, and it's uncomfortable. The guy on the right, I'm up a little bit more. Posture's much better. There's natural curvature to the spine. As the shoulders are pulled back, rib cage is spread. It's much easier to turn and rotate and swing the club more freely, which is what you need to be able to swing the golf club effectively.
So the challenge that we face is the fascia, the connective tissue that holds our whole body together, can hold us and seal our body out of alignment with a force up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. So, imagine that 2,000 pounds per square inch is what's holding our rib cage in its negative alignment, keeping the shoulder joints forward, the head pulled forward. And that is going to stop us from having the motion and the movement that we want. And also what it's going to do is it's going to create blocks to blood and oxygen flow, nerve flow, lymphatic flow. So for example, it's all about the roadways. If we can see where the arrows are pointing, here's two examples of major roadways in the body for the body to carry blood and oxygen to the cells, and then to remove negative emotion, debris, garbage, toxins from the body. So if we are not aligned properly, we're going to be creating barricades or beaver dams to those roadways so that we aren't going to be able to feed those cells properly. And cells that aren't fed and clean experience pain, aging, and disease. So same thing, if it's the nervous system and we have blocks affecting the nerves, that's going to affect nervous flow. Lymphatic flow. We have lymph nodes all over the body, but the armpits, the belly, the groin area, these are areas that are filled with lymph nodes. And if we have blocks there, that's going to affect our immune system and how we heal and how we feel. So again, if we don't have an open body, we're going to have chronic pain, premature aging, and restricted mobility. So this doesn't only affect you as a golfer, this is going to affect every aspect of your life. And that's something that is great about block therapy, because we can change that. So one of the things that's really important about block therapy is understanding pain. There's a pain-fear cycle that we get trapped in. If we feel pain that we don't understand, we hold our breath. That's our natural response to pain, which immediately causes a fear response in the body because our cells aren't being fed once we hold our breath. So the cells undergo this fear like, whoa, I need you to feed me. And then if we contract even further out of fear, then we feel more pain because now your cells are getting even less food. So, whether we're doing a sport or we're just living our life, our cells need to be fed. If you're hungry and you don't get fed, you feel discomfort, and the cells are no different. So pain basically is the language, though, of the cells letting us know that something's wrong. It's like the baby crying. We're not going to ignore the baby crying or put ice on the baby. We're going to lift the baby up and give it love or energy or food or whatever it is that that child needs to be fed properly. So we need to think of ourselves like our children, and we need to approach our pain from the place of compassion, because really it's ourselves just saying, hey, you know what? You're asking me to do all these jobs, but yet you're not giving me what I need to function properly. And what ultimately happens is, here's the guy in pain. But again, it's understanding that there's cause sites and pain sites. So where we feel the pain isn't really where the cause is coming from. And I love this picture because it perfectly represents where the cause of this issue is. So with block therapy, we approach the cause sites so that we can bring the body back to balance, taking the stress off, primarily the back of the body where the pain typically is, and we can create that realignment and rebalancing so we take that stress off the body. You can see here with the balloon, when it's not under pressure, it's round, and that's really what a cell should be like. As soon as it's under pressure, there's a compression and then there's a ballooning. And where there's ballooning is because of the compression. So we want to treat the compression or the squeezing and release it so we can get that cell back to proper alignment. So here's just a funny little video that perfectly shows what we're talking about. We want that there to be no compression and no pressure there. And then when we squeeze it, you can see what happens. And that's really what's going on in the body when we don't keep proper posture. So Barry, this was your picture here and you're saying, so do you want to talk to this?
Yeah, it's great. I love Satchel Paige and all his little quotes and things. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? Just a fantastic, how do you feel every day? I used to feel every morning when I got up, I used to feel terrible. Pain, pain all through my upper body, my hips, and you know what? I didn't feel like getting up and going to work, and I certainly didn't feel like getting out on the golf course. But when you feel better, you feel great. And age is, I'm 55 now. I feel, I feel fantastic. Every day I get up, I feel great, and the daily issues of pain is gone. So yeah, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? I'm looking forward to the next 50 years, I hope.
Awesome.
I'm just going to touch into there. I'm Quinn Castling, by the way, and my grandfather, he is turning 86 years old, and I'm literally going golfing with him tomorrow, literally at 9 a.m. And he's been coming to my classes weekly, and I can't believe how amazing he is at golf still. And it's because he's respecting his body, he's putting the space back into his cells, so that he has the proper range of motion in his rib cage, in his hips, and even walking on the golf course, it's subsiding the pain as well. So I just had to do a little bit of a shout out to my grandpa, because it's phenomenal. It's amazing how much or how well of shape he is in for his age. So that whole age factor it's not an excuse.
No, and what's really great too is I'm having a 2-day event here in Winnipeg for all the teachers. Tammy, you'll be there. And really exciting is Carolyn Harkins. She is an 85-year-old who has come to all of my intensives, my advanced block therapy classes. So people are always asking me, is there like an age when it's too old to start block therapy? And absolutely not. There's not, because by improving the way that you breathe and by increasing the space in your tissue, you're only improving your health. So you're never too old to start. So we just want to, here's Dr. Julia Bolin I met last year in the Bahamas, and she was at my intensive, and we just wanted to share what she had to say about back pain.
Hi, I'm Dr. Julia Bolin, physician, author, and founder of Personal Awareness Medicine, and I'm here in beautiful Aruba on vacation and conference. And I want to tell you, sometimes when you sleep in other beds, your back does not feel very good. I'm going to tell you, the other day I woke up and I was frozen. My back was stiff and I was in pain. And as a physician, after 20 years of medical practice, the first thing that I tend to grab onto is Tylenol and ibuprofen. Those are the things that I naturally, as a physician, want to gravitate towards. But you know what? Since I found Deanna Hansen's block therapy, that is the one thing now that I crave when I start to hurt. As a gymnast, many years back, I abused my back, all those back bends and all those arches. And I'm going to tell you, as a physician, when I treat back pain, I think about prevention of back pain, maintenance of back pain, and how to keep it from coming back. And Deanna Hansen's block therapy does all that. It breaks into tissue, gets deep into there, deeper, much deeper than even massage therapy can do. If you want your back to feel better, to prevent pain, and to treat acute back pain, get into Deanna Hansen's block therapy. She's there for you, and she's going to teach you how to take care of that long-lasting chronic back pain. Deanna Hansen, block therapy, that's the answer for me.
Awesome.
No question. No question. Answer for me. I wish I found it 30 years ago.
Well, good thing you're here now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in a wheelchair, so.
Absolutely not. So let's take a look at this.
Yeah, bent over, upright swing, can't turn. Typical position of golfers, they swing out to in, I swing out to in. Well, why do I swing out to in? Well, part of it's just your posture, and then you can't swing properly, and you don't have proper separation between your upper body and lower body when you're swinging the golf club. The club doesn't load properly going back, and then you don't start down with your lower body, and you can't swing through, and the club's going to come down steep. It's going to come down from out to in. You're going to hit it left, you're going to hit it right. It's going to go everywhere.
Yeah, and you can really see in your posture here where you've, especially on that right one where we've redded it out, like all of that compression in those ribs, if they're a solid mass moving, how are you going to get that power for your swing?
Well, you can't release your body through the ball, and you got no power. And I had continual issues down the left side of my body, and I thought it was the left side because I'm a right-handed golfer, and I'm hitting thousands of shots. And typically, the left side for right-handed players is a bit tighter, and mine was. But when I started block therapy, I had a massive rib release on the right side of my body, and my ribs realigned, and that was the real cause.
So that's cool, because what we're doing with block therapy is 3 things. We're creating space, inflating space, and maintaining space. So the first thing, like your ribs there being so compressed, they had lost space over time. So we've got you on some positions here where we can see how simple this is. For example, this top picture where it's in your hip flexor, that's going to be the cause site for people with back issues, or at least one of them. And if you don't release that front part of the pelvis, we're not going to be able to balance out the pelvis to take the stress off the back. And then similarly with the picture underneath, when you're lying on that, you're really helping to melt those restrictions that are in your rib cage. And we do block therapy in a bunch of positions, but when you're lying there, Barry, how does it feel for you?
It feels awesome. I do it every morning. That's my drug now. I don't touch the meds. I touch the block, and I'm super busy. Like I run 2 golf places, and my schedule is cucurico. But you know what? it only takes 10, 15 minutes every morning, and I get up, and after doing that, I feel fantastic. I love those positions.
Awesome.
Yeah, the same for me, Deanna. I mean, I just find that as soon as I get up in the morning, I have to have the block and start my day. It's great.
Nice. And then the second thing that we do is once we create the space, we inflate the space. So part of what we're teaching is proper diaphragmatic breathing. So like that balloon, when it's blown up properly, it almost defies gravity. When there's no air in it, it falls to the earth very fast because it's basically got no space in it. So when we teach people how to breathe properly, the body becomes lighter, more fluid, and it changes everything. And then the last thing that we focus on is maintaining the space. So once we've created this release, we want to teach people how to own proper alignment so that we don't keep falling back into that negative space, so we can move forward in a positive direction. And David Wolf, he's very big in the holistic world, talks about superfoods, spring water. He does a lot of stuff. And I had the opportunity a couple of times to work with David. So we just want to share what he had to say about this.
Greetings, everybody. This is David Avocado Wolf, and I had a treatment today with Deanna Hansen, and it was amazing. I've been working on an old injury since 1989. Really took me 16 years to kind of get through it, and I've been expanding my chest and opening up my rib cage, but today was really a pioneer moment. Opened up everything. It was really special, and I actually felt like I got taller. My ribs came in, my stomach got flatter, and it was just amazing. I've been doing a lot of physical fitness recently too, a lot, more than I've done in 25 years. And to have this work done on my body right now, incredible, felt so good. So I just want to give Deanna Hansen a big thumbs up. She knows what she's doing. She's an expert in getting into your tissue, opening up that rib cage, opening up the stomach, opening up all those fibers so you can breathe deeper, enjoy life more, have less sore muscles, and of course, have the best day ever.
Right on.
And then one of the things that, very few people talk about is with proper head alignment, how are we supposed to support the weight of this like ball on our shoulders? And basically the head weighs about 10 pounds when properly aligned. However, when incorrectly aligned, it can apply up to 100 pounds of force on the muscles of the upper back, the neck, and the jaw. And right off the hop, we can see, what that's going to do to your golf game. So one of the things that we address in block therapy is proper alignment of the tongue muscle. The tongue is actually the strongest muscle in the body, and one of the functions of this muscle is to help support the weight of the head. So that's something that gets discussed as well through this program, so that not only are we going to be releasing those restrictions, but we're going to be creating the proper foundations to support all of our muscles and our cells. So now this is you doing a good swing.
Yeah. I'm taller, more upright, club's going back farther, I'm staying level, and the big thing is to notice, rotating through toward the target, and you can see how the shaft is ending up more parallel to the ground now because my body rotates through, and that's going to keep the club on line. It's going to give you power, it's going to give you accuracy, it just makes it a lot easier to swing the golf club. You're going to feel in balance, and it's going to be that fluid, effortless motion.
Well, and Barry, you were the one that came up with swing with ease, and that's exactly, when I watch this of you, that's exactly what I think of. You're swinging with ease, which is just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it's a lot more fun, no question about it. Straighter shots, more power, and a lot more fun, And it's easier to swing, even I don't play that much anymore. I'm just, schedule's too hectic and too busy, and before it was always like a Timex torture test to get warmed up and get out on the golf course. Now, even if I don't pick up a club for a couple weeks, I can get out there and it's the motion comes back so fast.
Just look at the difference in what's going on here, just from the two here. It's amazing.
Yeah, guy on the right rotated toward the target, balanced, faced the target, rotated freely through, hands high up and through, and still in natural elevation and posture. Still very much in the same posture that I started in. That is critical. That's huge for consistency and being able to swing the golf club.
Tammy, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just on the comment with swing with ease, since I've been doing the block, when I play now, my swing is a lot easier. I don't have that restriction I had in my shoulder because I could never get it quite back because I had this restriction on my right side of my shoulder. And even with my hips, when I was coming through, I always had pain coming through, so I know I was probably stopping at some point on my downswing and not finishing fully through. So, you know, I never was really sure where the ball was going to go, and I don't feel that at all now. That is all gone, and I just have so much more energy when I play that by the 18th hole, I'm like ready to go another 18, whereas I never felt that way before.
Wow.
And she's hitting farther. I'm her coach, and she's hitting the ball farther.
Yeah,
so that's been a nice benefit, hitting it farther without actually trying to hit it harder.
Yeah, I'm not hitting it harder, and that's the thing for me. I'm loving it. I'm hitting the ball a lot further this year, so it's been great.
Actually, Tammy, that's exactly what I've noticed this year as well, because I was never able to drive. I could never tee up the ball and have a successful drive until this year, and it was something clicked, and I released a lot of restriction in my ribs and my hips specifically this year, and ever since I did my first golf game, I couldn't believe that I could just drive and the ball would go far and straight. So that was really cool. I'm a full believer that was all through block. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think for me it's been because of the block work. I'm better able to separate my upper and lower body easier, and so I'm able to generate more power, and I'm getting more distance.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Quinn, just one thing, Quinn, you're going to need a lot of good luck tomorrow against your grandfather. I've played him, and he's awesome. 86. He's going to smoke you, man. He's awesome.
I know. I was going to say, I'm like, oh, what am I getting myself into here? I haven't golfed with him for a while, so it'll be an experience. Hopefully, he'll teach me a few tips.
Oh, he will. You get on that block, buddy. You're going to need it.
I'm bringing mine in my bag.
Yeah,
very good. So let's just talk about what this Block for Golf program includes, because we wanted to make it really efficient, really simple, really fast, and to have massive benefits. So we're going to go through all the components of what it includes. Of course, it includes your Block Buddy, the tool that is so important for using this. It's also going to include the intro video series. And the reason we did this is because this is a full body practice. So I'm going to be getting into the specifics about the actual golf program, but this is part of what you're going to get because we want to encourage you to work the block through your whole body. Something in your lower leg can be affecting your hip, which can be affecting your shoulder. Everything is interconnected. So part of this program is this intro series. And when you get the program sent out, you're instructed on how to optimize the program to make it as beneficial for you as possible. But most specifically, Barry, I had so much fun with you and Tammy creating this program because we needed to figure out what was the most important thing to focus on. How do we do it in the least amount of time to get the most result? And I think we were really, really great at doing this. So the 4 days, basically, day one, we're focused on the rib cage to improve range of motion of your rib cage. And there's 5 positions, 3 minutes per position. And so, Barry, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, it's going to be the first step toward changing your posture and changing your setup and changing your swing. And it's like takes what, 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
It's like, yeah, amazing lasting changes. You'll feel better and it's going to help your golf.
And Barry and I together are talking through the lesson. So not only are you getting my guidance as how to use it and what is it doing for your health, but you're also getting Barry's input, how it improves your golf swing, which is just such a wonderful combination. So then the second, we focus on the hip flexors and the butt. And again, it's 5 positions, 3 minutes per position. So Barry, what's the significance of that for golf?
Well, the glutes are huge. You know, the glutes set up the whole power core and your stability and balance in the swing. Your butt, your glutes, you know, they need to be strong. They need to be flexible. It keeps your upper body in the proper position and lets you rotate and move with power and balance. It's critical.
Great. And then day 3, we're focused on the core and the separation. So there's 3 positions. And then there's 2 positions where we're actually creating an isometric resistance to increase your rotation. So how is that so significant, Barry?
Yeah, those are really wicked exercises, and you know that's going to help you load the club better going back. It's going to create more separation between your upper body and your lower body, which is critical for power and consistency. And you know, there's a lot of talk about that in golf, and a lot of people, the average golfer, can't do it because, you know what, they're too blocked up. They can't move. They've got issues with range of motion and flexibility, and they just can't do it. So yeah, that's a lot of fun, that one,
I
and
think
you'll feel it when you do
probably
it.
most significant for, creating that immediate change in your
Huge.
ability to rotate.
Yeah, no question. Between that and your posture, you'll be blown away.
And then by day 4, we focus on the shoulders. So again, it's 5 positions, 3 minutes per position, and we get the shoulder range of motion. And then we just keep cycling through this program. So what else?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's simple to use. You know what? And for anybody that wants to get into it and that, and you get into the program, you know what? By all means, contact me. I'd like to see you before you get started. We'll do an analysis of your swing, see where you're at, do a video, talk about some stuff. You know what? And then I'd like to see you later after about a month, and let's talk about it and see where you're at and see where the changes are. It'd be really, really cool to work with you on that.
And I think it would be really awesome, Barry, if you could take before and after pictures of people, because it's incredible how fast the physical body changes in its alignment and how it changes the shape and the size of how we look. It's not about weight loss, it's about cellular alignment. And when we lift that rib cage up and put it in its correct place, everything changes. It's just so amazing.
It's unbelievable. Your body shape change, it's mind blowing. It's truly amazing.
Okay, so for all of this, it is $247, and the purchase page is golfblockbuddy.com. So if anyone is interested in this program, all you have to do is go to golfblockbuddy.com, and you will be able to get this program sent to you immediately, which is very exciting.
And you'll all see the golfblockbuddy.com, the URL. It'll be in your control panel. So should I go over the control panel?
Yeah, first of all, Tammy, did you have anything you wanted to add before we open this up for Q&A?
No, other than to just say, I've been doing the full body block. I've been focusing on the positions related to the golf program specifically, because that's really helped me, and I can't say enough about what it's done for my golf, but just for my whole health in general. I had to become an instructor. There's just this thing is just too good to not stay involved with this, and we're really excited about the Block for Golf program. We think it's going to be great, and we hope everyone likes it.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun too. It'll be a lot of fun.
Tons of fun. Okay, so Quinn, why don't you share with everybody how to ask questions if they have any?
Perfect. So you're all going to see, I'm just going to exit out of here for a quick moment. I'm just going to pull up my control panel here as well. So you're all going to see there we go. You're all going to see on your control panel, there's different drop-down boxes, and there's going to be one that says question. So you just click the drop-down box, and then you can just type in your question at any time, and then we'll see if that question is being asked, and then we can answer it right away. Other than that, yeah, we even have some questions here, so this is perfect.
Great. Okay, this is Christine. Hi, Christine. The question is the 4-day Block for Golf intro series an online program, or is it a downloadable PDF format? It's an online program. So very similar to the other programs, we send you out everything and then it streams on the page. Quinn, you can probably actually explain this better than me.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all been uploaded to, you're all going to have a special password for the program, and you need to be sent the link or the correct link to access it. So once you receive the program, it's going to come in that email format, and then you can even bookmark the page so that you can have full access to the videos at all time. That goes with the full body intro video series as well. So yeah, that'll be an easy access. It's not going to be in a PDF format because it's a video. PDF would be more of like an
ebook.
Yeah, like an ebook or a document. And you can, of course, download. Oh no, there's an extra little gift we threw in here for you as well. When we send you guys the recording, actually within an hour after the webinar is completed, you'll be receiving an ebook that Deanna, Tammy, and Barry have put together. It's a great read, phenomenal read, and you can just get more info on what we're doing and whatnot. So again, that will be sent to you.
Great. Next question. Is there a different price if you already have a block? Oh, very good question. And yes, there will be, but not at this very second. It will be the same as our 21-day program, where if you actually have the block already, it would be at a decreased price. So the answer is yes, and it will be tomorrow. We'll have that uploaded tomorrow on the thing. So if you already have a block, you might want to wait a day.
That's a great question.
Yes. Any other questions? We were so good. We explained everything so well that there's no questions, Tammy and Barry. So being that there's no other questions, is there anything else that the two of you or Quinn would like to add before we close up tonight?
Well, this is the first start of the program. You know, it's the introductory part. There will be, you know, more advanced stages coming as we develop more parts of it. You know, we plan to have some monthly sessions with Block for Golf and just grow this and keep having fun with it and adding components to it. And it's going to be really, really cool. Really cool. It's a great way too to spend the winter working on your golf swing too. It's going to be fantastic.
And again, thank you both so much for investing your skills and your time and your life to this, because I certainly couldn't do this without you, and I'm just so pleased. And you know, the friendship that's developing is amazing too. We're having tons of fun. So thanks again.
Well, thank you, Dan. It's real, you know what? We use it and believe in it, and that's why we're part of it. You know, it's truly awesome. We're having fun with it. We feel better. We love it, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun growing it and helping a lot of people with their golf and helping people feel better.
Right.
Yes, thanks, Deanna. We really are fortunate to have found you and got you in our lives. So we're just having a blast with this.
Perfect. Everyone's having a blast with the block. That's the fun part. So we're a fun group, so you want to come on board with us.
Right. That's right. We can keep moving. No pain. It's just great every day. The block is my drug.
Yeah, we're looking for a tribe name right now, and people like the name Blockaholic. It has a bit of a negative connotation, but I'm quite fond of that one because
it's a good addiction. It's one of those good addictions. There's not many of those around. So. Right on.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for taking your evening to be here with us. And if you have any questions at all, send them to either Barry or myself at info@fluidisometrics, and we will be happy to answer them all for you.
Yeah. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.